today. When it comes to leadership and culture, what are the two pieces of advice that you would have for HR professionals as they work with their organizations to build a great people-first culture? What advice would you give?
Oh man, you just cracked open Pandora's box in my brain. So I will try not to take up too much time.
No
Culture
problem.
is my number one thing.
I
If
know.
there's anything I want to scream from the rooftops about teams and leadership and culture and HR, it is around culture and some thoughts that I have there in terms of like why it matters, what culture really is.
Yeah.
Culture gets talked a lot about, thrown around. It's, for a lot of people, it's a buzzword. It doesn't mean anything. And what I see is that the way that organizations think about culture, the way they talk about culture is not specific enough. It's like most of what people understand about culture is incomplete in terms of not just what it is, but how you do it inside an organization. So I would like to talk about that, like how it's done. I'll be quick.
Elaborate.
This is culture, okay? Culture is not a ping pong table in the break room. It's not that people get along. It's not that when we talk about culture with leaders and organizations, a lot of times that conversation kind of devolves into the golden rule. People say, well, just treat people the way you want to be treated. And right. And just, culture happens one conversation at a time. And there's no secret recipe to culture. You just sort of and I hate hearing those things because it's not true. If we said that about any other function of the organization, if we said that about marketing, or we said that about sales or operations, there's no secret sauce to sales. You just kind of build great products and you close deals. You'd be like, what are you talking about? There's a deep strategic psychology between everything having to do with sales, everything having to do with marketing, everything in business that we want to get right. We highlight, we prioritize as a strategic priority, and we approach it in a really tangible, tactical way. And I think what I see in organizations is not that they're bad, it's just that skill is missing. The skill set of how do you create culture that's really intentional inside an organization is missing from the tool belt of most organizations, because we know that great culture is important, and we know what toxic culture feels like. But how do we do it? How do you create a culture that is basically a clearly articulated code of conduct and set of behaviors that's collectively understood, that people adhere to, that people are committed to, that we hold ourselves and each other accountable to, and that we're consistent with. And that is what most organizations don't know how to do. And so